Hi, everyone. Welcome to Our Disabled Future, a series where disabled voices lead the way. I'm your host, Nico, and it is a good day for disability inclusion. Each day, during Disability Pride Month and beyond, I'm amplifying real disabled stories, where we are, where we want to go, and how the heck we're going to get there. Together, I hope. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Anthony. Let's dive in. Hi, Anthony. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Nico. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So, Anthony, tell us about yourself and about your disabled life.
Absolutely. So my name is Anthony Frazina. I am the founder of a brand called Above and Beyond, bridging the gap to accessibility and inclusion. I am an author, actor, speaker, and consultant located in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, which is about 45 minutes away from Toronto. And, amplifying the voices of people with disabilities to not only meet requirements, but exceed requirements is vital to a future of disability inclusion.
Thank you so much. It 100% is. So, as a disabled person and as somebody who works in the accessibility field, it sounds like you come at disability from a variety of different ways, which makes this next question really interesting for me to hear. What does a disability-friendly future look like for you?
A disability friendly future looks to me is where things can be accessed genuinely and authentically without hesitation and without barrier, ensuring people with disabilities can get from point A to point B uh, genuinely and respectfully without pushback. Attitudinal barriers are eradicated. People with disabilities can just live our authentic selves as we choose to live, not something that is dictated by somebody else.
You're really speaking to the choir. I love what you had to say. Thank you. I think we can all really get behind this argument that the future has to be accessible, has to be more disability inclusive. But here's the tough part. How are we going to make that happen? How do we bring that future into the present? What's our strategy?
Well, first and foremost, Nico, I want to say that preaching patience is granting permission to procrastinate. And, we have to take a strong hold on the future that disabled people want to live. And we've got to continue to be advocates, continue to have strong voices, continue to be um, quote unquote disruptors in the communities that we live in. Where I live in here in Hamilton, the percentage of people with disabilities is 30%, which is greater than the provincial and national averages. And we have to utilize that as an asset, as a talent. And lived experience doesn't get the notoriety nor the respect that it deserves. And in order for things to change, lived experience needs to be above and beyond, hence my brand, the status quo, the minimum standard, compliance, requirements. We need to think outside of the box. Just because there's a way to do a certain task doesn't mean it's the only way to do a certain task. And the accomplishment of our tasks, builds that confidence, builds that encouragement, builds that support to speaking openly and respectfully to who we are as disabled people going forward.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, your perspective, and your company above and beyond.
Thank you.
Anthony, as we close our time together today, I want to give you a chance that you and I, as disabled people, rarely get. That's a chance to brag about yourself. You could promote something cool you've done recently or something you've got some in progress.
Oh, there's
If you want to
sorry.
grow your presence online, where can people find you?
Absolutely, Nico. Thank you so much. They can find me at anthonyfrazina.ca. I'm at Above and Beyond Media on Instagram, at Above and Beyond Anthony Frazina on Facebook, Above Beyond for You on X. And for me, I've always just been, amplifying accessibility and inclusion by way of taking pride in leaders that people with disabilities can be. I've formally declared my intention to run for city council here in Hamilton in a by-election. So I'm hoping to not only give that disability inclusive presence from the lived experience, and just for context, Nico, and to your audience as well, I do use a wheelchair to navigate community. And we want to be able to bring those barriers to the forefront and eradicate them. But the biggest barrier, honestly, is attitudinal. Perception is not always reality, and we need to be proactive rather than reactive. So the intention to build a community and a ward that, as we call here in Hamilton, more accessible and more inclusive is paramount for everybody. Because as I say, where there's a win for accessibility and inclusion, there's a win for everybody.
Thank you. That was very polished. And I'll definitely put some of those links you mentioned in the video description of our video. All right, folks, tune in next time. Remember, this is our disabled future, so we're building it one day at a time together. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Bye.